You know, the way that game started, it was really easy if you were in the seats. Our fans, they hung in there, as did our team. And, you know, what they did tonight, I think, is really unique. And, you know, we've talked about our fans and the support that they've given this team, even, you know, throughout the year. And tonight, you know, the way that we started the game, the way Boston started the game, for that energy really gave us a lift. And it gave us a lift, particularly late, I thought. But it also, anytime you're down that much, you know, you have to do something, you know, out of the ordinary a little bit to get back in the game, whatever that is. And when you have, you know, a group of people that you know are behind you, and particularly when they're behind you, kind of thick or thin, you know, rain or shine. And there was a lot of rain early, and they were a big part of, you know, helping the sun come out.
I was going to ask about the team effort and just how much guys were unselfish, particularly in the second half. Mm-hmm. You have Veet going off in the third quarter, and then, you know, other players going off in the fourth. Just curious what you thought of the unselfishness tonight.
Did you just say Veet went off? I bet you haven't said that before.
No, I have not.
He played really, you know, collectively, you know, Bruno's emotion just stood out to me. You know, and we had a lot of, you know, unique efforts. I thought Wes, when he came in the game, really gave us a lift. And, you know, a lot of our guys, you know, I think, you know, we felt like we needed to start the third quarter really strong because we hadn't started the game. We actually had a few good defensive possessions in the beginning of the game, and we fouled a couple of shooters. We lost a couple of rebounds, and all of a sudden you look up and we're down 10 in, you know, a couple of minutes. So we hung in there, and it's easy not to hang in there and win a games like that, particularly against a team that's as good as Boston.
I know when we talked before the season began, we talked about unselfishness being a marker of a team that has success. I know it's only been one game, but I would like to know how you felt as far as just how this team has grown as an unselfish team over the course of the year.
I think this team has been unselfish. I think we're learning to play that way. And, you know, that's a big thing. It's not as easy. It requires, you know, things that are really fundamental, like spacing, you know, having your eyes out, you know, being available. You know, we talked about if someone doesn't get open, which is what happened in the first half a couple times, you know, it's hard to pass the ball. But they were definitely, you know, they were our baskets. You know, whoever was making them, Hunt's might have been his at the end, but for the most part, you could feel that connectivity with the way they were playing, and I think that helps us defensively as well.
You mentioned there was some good defensive possessions there early, but specifically just in that second half to get this run going, what do you think was really working for you guys defensively?
Well, I think we made them more uncomfortable. You know, those guys are such good players that there's a fine line there, and I thought early in the game we were trying to do that, but we were fouling. And, you know, there's still, it's, you know, Tatum and Brown, it's hard to guard them, because, you know, they're comfortable with contact and they're drawing contact in order to create space. So I thought we held our ground better. Maybe the biggest thing that stood out to me was on the ball, and particularly in pick and roll. We really worked to get over screens, and there were times when we switched. But, you know, that was crucial because of their three-point shooting. You know, I mean, to hold them, they've been shooting, I don't know, 40, 45, 48, 53s. And, you know, our guys thought we executed, you know, from a game plan standpoint, you know, a lot of things, not the whole game, but, you know, some of that had to do with Boston. They're pretty good. I say that, you know, semi-sarcastically. Obviously, they have the best record in the league. You know, you're pretty good if you have the best record in the league.
Is there anything you recall you can share with us that was said at halftime? Anything that you said, or did you let the team pretty much figure it out on their own?
Yeah, I never talk about what I said. But, you know, I think we all knew what the challenge was. You know, I think our whole group internalized that, and, I thought you saw that, the way we came out in the third quarter. That sometimes, talk is cheap, and so for us to go out and execute and play in a way that would get us back in the game, that's a credit to our guys, obviously.
Coach, I know you mentioned earlier already about Wesley Matthews, but I just wanted to bring him up specifically for his defense and just how you kind of saw him setting the tone, especially there defending Tatum on those occasions.
This is kind of what Wes and I talked about in the summer, is that there's going to be opportunities. He's played, frankly, more than I think he probably thought or I thought, because we've had injuries. But this is the type of game that he thrives in. His physicality, but just his toughness and his mental toughness. And, I think that has an effect on other players as well. It just kind of takes everybody's level up when you see that.
Compared to 12 months ago, what has Veet done to become an NBA defender?
Yeah, I think for one thing, he's made it important. I think the time that he spent in College Park, frankly, and the work that they do down there, and it's been a huge point of emphasis for our group, for Kyle, and Ryan, those two guys in particular. We want that to be kind of a defensive incubator, and I don't think a lot of those habits, and really as much as anything, that emphasis. He started picking up full court on his own. We were like, keep doing that. But he's moving his feet really well, and then his length and his size becomes impactful. Even tonight, he was in front of people. He just sometimes was getting knocked off. We fouled a couple times, but those are tough matchups. So I think as much as anything, it's something that he's embraced and taken pride in. And, we always say it, if you defend, you can get on the court. And it's because it's true. He saw a pathway there.
Coach, what's been the change with this team mentally? Because it seems like they're playing with a whole lot more confidence since all these injuries have come about.
Yeah, we've been putting time in. I think even on the road, there was opportunities where we practiced, and our guys have been working, on little things, that don't always translate to the game, but we've been able to to take some of that to the game and, trying to continue to build habits. But our guys have made those things important, whether it's something, the simplest things. I thought we're running harder. We're not getting caught in purgatory defensively in transition defense. And guys are, I guess the biggest thing to me is, guys are focused on helping each other, and what can I do for my teammate? And, that's when you put your mind there and you're thinking about someone else and how you can help them, whatever that means. Setting a screen, blocking out, running back, spacing, passing, all those things, it manifests itself a lot of ways.
When Clint gets that offensive rebound with 11 seconds left, are you hoping that ball doesn't go up, or what's your reaction when you see the shot go?
I think it was an instinctive shot, and I've been telling Hunt to hunt threes for a while, and he's done that, so I think, he didn't hesitate. He shot the ball with confidence, and, I have confidence in him. And it was a heck of a rebound, and Clint had his eyes out, and there wasn't any hesitation, in my mind, and I think that's why he made it, because he shot it with confidence.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay.